I actually started working at Grace Place Shelter 7 years ago. And during the time I'd worked there, we opened the new shelter in Balsam Lake. So I have been working with low-income people for the last 7 years. Prior to that, my background was sales and marketing. I commuted into the Minneapolis area for 20 years, and this opportunity arose as a director at Grace Place Shelter. And to be very honest with you, it has been a wonderful experience. I don't think as a society we look at low-income people as the opportunity of us being able to learn from them. As a Christian, I think it's our obligation to work with low-income and people that have less than we do. It states that very clearly again and again in the Bible, that the poor are among us. And when I come in the office, I don't get so worried about somebody coming in and double dipping, as they say. My goal is to walk like Christ would walk. I would like to take that path, and even the staff knows I would rather provide services to someone that has maybe taken advantage of us in some way or another than decline service from someone who really needs it. So as a Christian, I kind of feel it's my obligation to continue to working with these individuals. You know, the big question I have is, what about people taking advantage of us? To be honest with you, that is such a small amount of the people we serve. I'm not going to change a whole program because one person has taken advantage of us. We may have a conversation with that individual, but that's as far as I'm going to go. We're not going to change everything and make it hard for everybody. If I had nowhere to stay, I had slept in my car with my kids, and they hadn't eaten for a day, I probably would do whatever I had to get food and shelter for my children. And I think anybody would. In Wisconsin, there is no free welfare. If you're receiving assistance, you have requirements to work, you have requirements to move forward with your life. And if you're not complying with those conditions, you're not getting any state funding. So there is no state funding that goes out to anyone that they can just lounge on the TV, lounge on their living room chair, watch TV and eat bonbons. There's no funding like that available in the state. Medical services for the clients that are homeless and that I work with, especially if they're single, can be extremely difficult because there is no state medical insurance for these individuals. Most of them are working part-time, but as we know, with part-time jobs, you do not receive medical benefits. So, for example, we had one female resident residing in our facility in Burnett County. She needed some very important surgery. It took us 6 weeks to secure a hospital that could provide the surgery, and the hospital was in Minnesota. We have an individual currently that we're assisting that needs a new pacemaker. Right now, the quality of his life is totally diminished. He's walking with a walker because he doesn't have the energy, and we've been working 3 weeks to find a hospital that could provide surgery because of no insurance. A family that came to our area to work in the canning factory. The canning factory was not ready to hire at this time because the vegetables weren't in. They had a baby that was dehydrated. There were 4 other individuals in the family, and they had been staying in their car. But by the time they came to us, they didn't have baby food, formula, diapers, any food. They needed to do laundry. So we thought it was best to just let them sleep. You know, the kids slept on the porch and the parents slept in the living room. This is the way I look at it. I believe that government is there for all the people. They are there to protect the weakest link and they are also there to support the strongest link. What's good for one of us should be good for all of us. And I personally have real issues with wealthy people dictating government. And I guess I'm a real believer. If you're wealthy, you have every right to purchase your fancy houses, your fancy boats, take your fancy vacations, do things like that, buy your fancy cars, but they shouldn't have the right to buy democracy. And that's what I'm feeling is happening right now. If anyone would like to make a donation to assist any of our programs, or especially our backpack program, they could send a donation to 200 Polk County Plaza, Balsam Lake, Wisconsin, and they can send it to Serenity Home.